Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for your English news session program on radio television of Burkina Faso from Ouagadougou. The president of Faso, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, officially inaugurated this week in Ouagadougou. It was a solemn ceremony during which he received the highest award, the Medal of the Grand Maître, that gives him the full power to act as the head of state. Before his inauguration, Paul-Henri Damiba signed later in the night the transition charter. The charter was written by the leading forces of the country. The document contains the planning for the coming transition in Burkina. It allows the transition president to conduct the transition for 3 years' time and limits the cabinet to 25 members. According to the charter, no transition actor should take part in elections at the end of the transition in 3 years. Following his inauguration, the president of the transition, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, appointed a new prime minister this week. His name is Albert Ouedraogo. Dr. Albert Ouedraogo is an economist. He's also specialized in management, in enterprises counseling, in audit, and in business planning elaboration. The new prime minister also used to teaching in private and public universities of the country. Dr. Albert Ouedraogo is not known by the majority of the Burkinabe, but those who know him says he's a good worker, an upright man, and an ambitious person who always looks for the good quality service. Some who do not know him says they hope he will succeed in his mission, mostly in bringing back peace in Burkina in order to allow the displaced people going back home. The EU Special Representative for Sahel has an interview with the President of Faso, Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba. Emmanuela Delry says she is confident about the transition in Burkina. The EU emissary and President Damiba also talk about the new challenge Burkina Faso should be facing in the coming times. She says the EU remains committed to supporting the country to overcome these challenges. At the end of the stay, Emmanuela Delry met the media to talk about her stay in Burkina. Just watch what is coming up.
My visit to Burkina Faso is a very important visit. It was much wanted by the countries of the European Union because, of course, Burkina Faso is still and will always be a very central partner in our relationship with the region of Sahel. And therefore, I was very happy to be here and to have the opportunity to talk to civil society, to representatives of various organizations, to touch upon humanitarian issues as well as development issues, and above all to have the opportunity to speak to the President of the Faso, Damiba, because I really wanted to know his vision regarding the future of the country. I was the first official visit after his investiture on the other day, and we had the opportunity to exchange on a number of issues from IDPs to development strategies and of course fight against terrorism and security issues in general. What I said to the President, the message that I passed is that I think in the name of the European Union that of course we need to see that there is a return to the constitutional order, of course. And of course we also, I also said that we will continue to help and to be to help the Burkina Faso if conditions permit, of course. I also told him that of course we have to develop a common strategy to identify the best way to tackle the major challenges. I also said, of course, that we need to see signs of reforms because this is the most important thing for us in this period of transition. And I also mentioned that President Kabore should be released because there are no accusations, and in our system, democratic system, we cannot detain anyone unless there is there is a proper accusation formulated by the magistrates. Regarding other things, of course, I have passed the message that our partnership is fundamental for the European Union, that there is a lot of attention, and I was very happy to hear from the President that there is, from his side, a great appreciation for the work that the European Union has done so far, as well as the hope that the European Union will continue to be the partner, faithful and reliable that has been so far. I think that, in conclusion, my visit gives me, of course, although of course I see all the challenges and I'm very aware of the problems, I also feel a certain degree of optimism, because I know that the population of Burkina Faso is really willing to change things, and all together maybe we can obtain a better future for the children of the country. Certainly, I have to say, we have to concentrate very much, as I said, on concrete results, and this is what we want to obtain. We shall be very happy in the future to continue this relationship on the basis of the will to have peace and prosperity for the Burkinabe.
Following the death of the chairman of the Constitutional Council of Burkina Faso on February the 19th in Paris, Kassoum Kambou, a national ceremony was organized to pay the last tribute to him. The ceremony happened at the Place de la Nation in Ouagadougou behind the president of Faso, Arisanda Damiba, and the other officials of the army and the administration. Kassoum Kambou was appointed as the constitutional chairman in 2015. The Canadian embassy to Burkina Faso is also committed to supporting Burkina Faso in its development quest. Some projects are initiated by the embassy in order to make possible the women and the girls' empowerment in terms of education in Burkina. Our reporter asked the Canadian diplomat about the purpose of this project in Burkina Faso. I invite you to listen to the Canadian ambassador to Burkina Faso.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here today to hear the results of the project from WUSC and CC and to see how it has worked to help the local communities improve the dialogue between the governments and the community, and also to girls in having a better future, in having more economic resilience, in being more sustainably developed in a way that will allow them to continue to learn from the skills that they have received and apply those going forward, so that the 6 years of this project, it ends now, but it doesn't end. It continues. And it's a really great project to see how Canada in the mining sector, we're the #1 investor. So a project that combines the mining sector with women and girls primarily is a win-win for all of us. And it's a great opportunity that the Government of Canada has had to be able to support such a project and work with such great partners, and also with knowing that the results will continue. And this year is the 60th anniversary of relations between Burkina Faso and Canada, 60 years of friendship between our two countries, and I look forward to celebrating that throughout the year.
The Burkinabe artist Almami Keji, a reggae singer, inaugurated his fourth album last week in Ouagadougou. The album is called Madame Africa. In this album, Almami Keji is talking about corruption, bribery, and bad governance in Africa. I invite you to listen to Almami Keji, the Burkinabe musician.
That's right. This album, I work with Aisha Kone from Ivory Coast, Diko Fils from Burkina, and Binabier from Burkina. We try to do something together. This collaboration in art is so important for us because it's art, the sense is art is collaboration. Alone we get one spirit. If you are 3 or 4 to do a project, so you get many spirits, and we have to get many ideas, many ways to see the world. It's for that I try to get this collaboration with Aisha Kone, Dick Office, and other artists in our continent.
Okay.
As for me, this album, the fourth, is it's advice for the whole African, against imperialism, against injustice. You need a new world. We are singing, we sing it for a new paradise. What I call new paradise? New paradise for me is Africa with a nice government, with governor. We have to respect the choice of population. This album is time to advise the whole, and the people have to stand for unite and stand for liberty. You go Ivory Coast, you go Ghana, Burkina, and Rwanda, they have the same life. Like the people used to say everywhere, life is the same. It's for that the people have to fight for the right. If you take the corruption in this country, when there's corruption, this country will never, will never know justice. This country will never know joy. We have to get a new generation. We have to get a new democracy. We have to get a new ways for democracy.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Radio Television of Burkina Faso to enjoy your weekend. See you.